What's your advice for young people today? If they want to get ahead, they're starting off from zero and they want to become wealthy and they want to be successful.
Well, you got to work hard. You got to be ambitious. Don't accept failure, persevere. If you make a mistake, just correct it, learn from it. Don't be afraid to fail because, failure is part of success. Some of the most successful people have failed many times before they succeeded. You got to take a risk. You got to believe in yourself. It's hard. Not everybody can be successful. Not everybody can start and run their own business. A lot of people are satisfied with, the ordinary, just letting somebody else make all the hard choices, take all the risks and just play it safe and take a job. And, there's something to be said for that too. It depends on, who you are and what your goals are and what your ambitions are. But even though the government makes it a lot harder to succeed, it's not impossible. So you could do it, right? You can overcome any barrier. It's a big world. And if there's too many rules and regulations in America, go someplace else. Especially if you're young, you don't have any responsibilities. You don't have a family. You don't have kids. You can pick up and go wherever the wind blows.
Where would you go? If you could pick anywhere, assume you go back to 20 years old and you could go anywhere in the world for an opportunity, where do you feel like you get the best
Puerto
opportunity?
Rico's not bad right now, given the tax breaks that you can get in Puerto Rico. You still got to deal with the local government. But, if I wasn't an American, I'd have even a bigger choice unless I'm willing to, relinquish my citizenship and get out from under it. But, you can go to, Southeast Asia, a lot of these emerging market economies. You can go into, like a Dubai. Who knows? Maybe we'll see what they're doing down there in Argentina. It would have been a place I never would have thought about. But you got Malay in there, some big reforms. I wish them all the success. But who knows? Argentina was one of the wealthiest countries in the world over 100 years ago. Maybe it will be again. Argentina was wealthy because it was free. It went broke because of big government for the same reasons that we're broke.
Where did you get your self-sufficiency from? Because it really feels like you take complete ownership and control over your life in a way that many people don't believe they have.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that are like that. America was about the rugged individual. That's the whole concept of an American, right? We take care of ourselves. That doesn't mean that we ignore the plight of others, but we take care of ourselves. We're not dependent. We don't look for a handout. And when they first introduced welfare in this country in the 1930s during the Depression, they called it relief, right? Because it was supposed to be temporary. But a lot of people were too proud to take it. And a lot of people who took it paid it back, even though they didn't have to. They just felt wrong. It just didn't feel right because they knew that I didn't earn this money. But Americans don't have that. Most of them today don't have that sense of pride. They couldn't give a damn, right? If the money was stolen and give it to them. They just, in fact, that's why there's so much theft today too. People don't care. They have no respect for private property. They just think they're entitled to stuff. Right? It's the reparations mentality. Right? Society owes me something. Other people owe me because I'm here. Because I want stuff, I deserve it because I'm here. A bunch of nonsense. But that wasn't what being American was about. It was about being free, being about left alone. That's why when my grandparents came here, they didn't come here for welfare because it didn't exist. They didn't come for food stamps. They didn't come for a minimum wage. We didn't have that. There were no government caseworkers that greeted my grandparents. There was no government housing. There was no subsidized health care. People came here to be free from government. That's what freedom is. Freedom is freedom from government. It means you're left alone. You're free to make your own choices and to benefit, right, from the good choices. And if you make bad choices, you're going to have to be held accountable. But people came here knowing the deal, knowing that if you succeed, you get the benefits, and if you fail, you suffer the consequences. People came here anyway, by the millions, by the boatload. They came from countries all around the world that had much bigger governments. They rejected big government in favor of small government and individual freedom. But the nation changed, in those 100 years, right? The whole character of the nation has changed, and it's for the worse. And I would really like to see a backlash and a return to our roots.
What do you think about Elon Musk's compensation package being revoked?
Well, again, the shareholders voted for it. And as far as I know, most of them still think he's entitled to it and want him to have it. So again, it's a government interposing itself where it doesn't belong. But look, the worst things the government does is look at all these mergers that they break up. I mean, every day, the government here, this merger was blocked, that merger was blocked. I mean, if companies believe that by coming together, they can be more viable businesses, they can have synergies, and they can lower their costs and then provide a more competitive product, why is the government getting involved? I mean, look, the most recent one, it's luxury handbags, right? Was it, you got two companies that make women's handbags. So who cares? But the government's, oh, no, it's not going to be a monopoly. Not many companies make handbags. But it's just so ridiculous that the government, they steal so much money from us, and then they worry about the pennies. Oh, we're going to protect you like from a bank that's charging you a fee to bounce a check. But meanwhile, they're taking, 30% of your paycheck right out from under you. And then they're worried about this, the small amount of money that they claim, you're getting ripped off in the private sector. The government needs to stay out of all this stuff.